The next topic, that is the fertilization. It is also called as the syngamy. Fertilization, it is one of the process of fusion of haploid male and female gametes to produce the diploid zygote. Okay, या प्रोसेसमध्ये काय होते, फ्युजन ऑफ मेल अँड फिमेल गॅमेट हॅव्हिंग हॅप्लॉइड इन अ नेचर अँड इट प्रोड्यूस द डिप्लॉइड झायगोट. इट इज इन द इंटरनल अँड इट ऑकर्स इन द ॲम्प्युला ऑफ द फॉलिपियन ट्यूब. फॉलिपियन ट्यूबच्या ॲम्प्युला जो पार्ट आहे तिथे आपल्याला फर्टिलायझेशन होताना दिसत आहे. ठीक आहे. द फर्टिलाइज एग और झायगोट विल डेव्हलप इंटू ॲन एम्ब्रियो विदिन द युटेरस. When we see the mechanism of the fertilization, this steps which involved into the mechanism of fertilization. The first is movement of sperm towards the egg, second entry of sperm into the egg, third one acrosome reaction, fourth one activation of ovum. Through this all step, the mechanism of fertilization which is completed. The first step of the mechanism of fertilization, that is movement of the sperm towards the egg. Okay, in that what happened, the sperm undergoes the capitulation, the vagina. Means capitulation means what? In that the sperm undergoes the cellular changes and it unable to fertilization and able to fertilization. So sperm in the process of sperm capitulation, what happened here, it increase the cholesterol, efflux the cholesterol, increase the permeability to calcium ion, increase the protein tyrosine phosphorylation, membrane destabilization, acrosome reaction, increased intercellular pH, influx of calcium and HCO3 ion, then hyperpolarization of plasma membrane and increase the intracellular CAMP ROS levels. Okay, so these all conditions which is seen in the process of sperm capitulation, means whole scene, that is the sperm undergoes the cellular changes and able to the fertilization. Okay, like this changes which is seen in the sperm, means acrosome level which is seen, outer acrosomal membrane which is seen, inner acrosomal membrane seen, then acrosomal content and inner acrosomal membrane and plasma membrane. Okay, these changes which is seen into that of the capitulation. So when movement of sperm towards the egg, at that time what happened, capitulation which is done in the vagina and acrosome membrane become thin and calcium ion enters the sperm causing the rapid whiplash movement of the sperm tail. म्हणजे whiplash म्हणजे मागे पुढे movement करेल spermची tail and this sperm which move from vagina to uterus and to the oviduct. At that time the prostaglandin and vestibular secretion of the female activate the sperm and also enhance the sperm motility. Okay, म्हणजे spermची motility जी आहे ती increase करणार. कशामुळे increase होणार? Because this vestibular secretion, prostaglandin and the vestibular secretion which is seen in the female and it activate the sperm and also enhance the sperm motility. The sperm movement is also stimulated by the contraction of uterus and fallopian tube which caused by the oxytocin of the female. Okay, then these sperms which is remain visible for 24 to 48 hours. And one another important thing is that the sperm which swim at a average speed of 1.5 to 3.0 mm per minute. This ovum means 24 to 48 hours the sperms which can remain viable and at that time the ovum for about the 24 hours. म्हणजे इथे 24-43 hours sperms viable राहील आणि ovum जे आहे having 24 hours. Okay, the second stage of the mechanism of fertilization, that entry of sperm into the egg. Okay, so out of the 200 to 400 million of sperm, only few hundred manage to reach the ampulla. म्हणजे 200 ते 400 millions of the sperms which is enter inside the body of female, but only few hundred manage reach to the ampulla. म्हणजे ampulla पर्यंत काहीच जाईल आणि only a single sperm which fertilize the ovum. काही प्रमाणात hundreds of sperm which enter inside the ampulla of the female reproductive system and only a single sperm which fertilize the ovum. At that time what happened, after the fertilize, or in this process what happened, the acrosome of the sperm which release the lysine, hyaluronidase and corona penetrating enzyme. Okay, thereby this separating the cell of corona radiata and sperm head pass through that of the zona pellucida of the egg. In that, the zona pellucida has fertilizing receptor protein, that is ZP3 and ZP2, which binds to the specific acid protein anti-fertilizing of the sperm, and this fertilizing and anti-fertilizing interaction, which interaction species which is called as the compatibility reaction. Okay, so after the entry of sperm into the egg, what happened, acrosome reaction which is seen, and this acrosome reaction, in this process, what you have to see, firstly contact of the sperm head with the zona pellucida of the animal pole, and after that it rupture of acrosome membrane. Okay, म्हणजे झोना पेलुसिडा जे आहे ॲनिमल पोल, एगच्या ॲनिमल पोलला, त्यावेळेस काय होईल की जे स्पर्म आहे, स्पर्मचं जे हेड आहे, इट कॉन्टॅक्ट टू दॅट ऑफ द ZP, अँड दिस रप्चर द ॲक्रोझोम मेम्ब्रेन, अँड इट रिलीज द हायड्रोलिटिक एन्झाईम फ्रॉम द ॲक्रोझोम, अँड ॲक्रोझोम that is acrosine or zona lysine. Okay, so after the release of this enzyme, what happened, the egg reaction which is seen means formation of the fertilization cone. म्हणजे जे वॉल आहे, कोणती एग वॉल, तर तिथे एक कोन फॉर्म होईल, म्हणजे कोन ऑफ रिसेप्शन ऑफ द एग मेम्ब्रेन. ओके, एग मेम्ब्रेन एक कोन लाईक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म होईल. वीक वेव ऑफ डिपोलरायझेशन, इट ऑल्सो इन दिस कंडिशन weak wave of the depolarization which is seen, and plasma membrane of the two cell dissolve and entry of the sperm nucleus and centriole into the egg, and cortical reaction which is seen, which conversion of the vitelline membrane into the fertilization membrane, which prevention of the polyspermy. Next stage of the fertilization, activation of ovum. After the acrosome reaction, the ovum, before fertilization, activation of ovum which is seen. Before fertilization what happened, this ovum which is in the metaphase 2 stage. पहिले आपल्याला मेटाफेज 2 स्टेज पर्यंत त्याची डेव्हलपमेंट दिसली होती, बरोबर आहे, इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ oogenesis. With the contact of sperm head to the vitelline membrane of egg, it get activated to resume and complete its meiosis 2 process. जेव्हा मग आता स्पर्मसोबत तिथे कॉन्टॅक्ट होईल एगचा, म्हणजे vitelline membrane जे आहे, sperm head contact with that of the vitelline membrane of egg, and it get activated to resume and completed meiosis 2 stage. Okay, so with this process what happen, it gives out the second polar body, and the germinal vesicle organizes into the female pronucleus. In that stage what happen, it is one of the true ovum or the egg. This process which is seen into the activation of ovum means the male and female pronuclea fuse to form a zygote by the process of syngamy, or it is also called as the karyogamy. The proximal centriole received from the sperm and help the cleavage of zygote into 2 blastomeres. When we see the significance of the fertilization, the first significance of fertilization, that is oogenesis, is completed and female gamete is formed. In the process of fertilization what happened, secondary oocyte which is completed and process of oogenesis, and it transformed into a mature ovum. Okay, second one is the syngamy which is seen. Syngamy restore the diploid chromosome number in the zygote. Means the diploid chromosome number is restored in the zygote by the process of syngamy. Then third one, the ovum receive the centriole from the sperm necessary for the further division. necessary for the further division. Means in that what happen, the sperm and the ovum lacks the centriole. Ovum lacks the centriole which is necessary for the further division and are received from the sperm during fertilization. आता आपल्याला माहिती आहे की जे ओव्हम आहे त्याच्याकडे सेंट्रिओल नाही आहे, पण स्पर्मकडे काय आहे, फर्टिलायझेशन आहे. स्पर्मकडे काय आहे, दिस सेंट्रिओल विच इज प्रेझेंट. So that at that time what happened, one of the significance, that is ovum receive the centriole from the sperm necessary for the further division. म्हणजे इथे डिव्हिजन जे आहे त्याच्यासाठी जे सेंट्रिओल आहे इट इम्पॉर्टंट. ओके. So fertilization result the variation which are important to the evolution. Means fertilization involves what happen, fertilization involves the fusion of male and female gamete from the two parent and it result in the variation which are significant to that of the ovulation. म्हणजे आपल्याला तिथे variation दिसेल ना, the male दिसेल किंवा female दिसेल after the fertilization, the embryo which is formed at that time, the variation which is seen. So that we are saying that fertilization results in the variation which are important to the evolution. And then next one is that the sex of offspring is determined in the fertilization. Okay.